I'm in my kitchen and I am about to make a wedding cake. I have always loved my handheld mixer. I find that it's very easy to control it. It's really easy to whip it out and clean it. I've got a KitchenAid. I used to paint, my kitchen was painted this colour when I first got it. I've had it about 18 years, something like that. I have no idea. I've had it a very long time. I absolutely love it. And I bumped into a PR at an event last year, and she does the PR for KitchenAid, and I think she was practically offering to send me one, and I was like, oh, no, you can't send me a KitchenAid. Anyway, I've got one. And she said, do you want to test out some of the attachments? And I was like, hell yeah. So she very kindly sent me the KitchenAid Sifter Scale. I haven't got it in front of me and I can't remember what it's called. She sent me the Sifter Scale. Let's just call it that for now. And I did loads of videos. I did loads of playing with it. I did an unboxing of it. And I had a good play with it and I didn't get on with it. And I really didn't want to do a video saying, this is great. I won't do that. And I kind of wanted to do a video without saying it was great. Just say, here it is. This is what it does. But it felt fake, and I won't ever do that. I'm a very authentic person. I don't lie. If you ask me if something looks good on you and it doesn't, I will find a way of telling you it doesn't, but without lying and without being rude. So I was just very uncomfortable, but I felt really bad about it for a really long time. And it was really expensive. And I think that was a little bit of what put me off. I was thinking it's actually, it's a lot of money for what it is. My dog's about to bark. Alan, do not bark. Shh. So I put it in the cupboard. Now it's two sections. It's an attachment that fits onto the end. It fits onto the end here. This bit comes out. I'll show you in a minute. It comes out and you stick the attachment on and it's got this bit that goes, and this is the sieve and it sieves. And then there's another section that you can weigh things in it and it's the scales. So I've had the scales out separately and I've used the scales. I don't think you can measure liquids with the scales, which I think is a real shame because that is what I love about my other digital scales, that you can measure liquid and just, when you just zero it and then keep adding. I do a lot of ingredients that has oat milk or yogurt. I just felt that was a bit of a shame. So, total honesty. Sorry, KitchenAid, if you don't like it. What was it called? Honest feedback. Anyway, that was last year. Roll on. I mean, this was so far last year that I recorded the videos and was editing the video while I was on my summer holiday. So it was a long time ago. And the PR's since gone on maternity leave. So it was a really long time ago. Anyway, roll on to Wednesday. And I was using my handy KitchenAid, my handy handheld whisk, which I think I've had for a very, very long time. And it's not even branded. It's a really cheapy one. And in the middle of whisking something, this happened. This broke and this went flying and ingredients went flying and I myself, because it scared the life out of me. So I obviously kept it, cleaned it so I can share it with you. And then I tried whisking with just one. Do you know what? It's really hard to whisk with just one because it's not beating against itself. So I thought, do you know what? Let's just get the Sifter Scale out. Oh my God. I loved it. I loved it. I think the pressure to perform, the pressure to share was just almost blinding me to just how handy it is. So I put everything away. I started my cake all over again. And Madeira cake has to be, you have to add the ingredients in a certain way. You have to add, well, let's just start with, you have to beat the eggs first, beat the marge and the butter together first, and I've warmed up the butter and marge this time and whisked it all up, and actually that did work with just one handheld whisk. Then I put it in the KitchenAid and then you have to add the eggs. Now, have you ever made a cake and it's not curdled? Because I have such a problem with that. So I started using the KitchenAid to mix. I've got the whisk attached, the balloon whisk attachment on it, and I add the egg and I just add a tiny stream of egg from a jug into there. And then I add the Sifter Scale attachment, and you have to add flour and water in 3 goes. And actually, by adding it with the Sifter Scale, it's sifting as I'm adding all. Game changing, absolutely game changing. So I am a new convert. It's a bit fiddly. I think it's worth the fiddle. Anyway, I need to get on because this cake needs to go in the oven because I've got about 2.5 hours before I need to leave. So I need this cake in and out of the oven in that time. So let's get on with it. Okay, so the first, actually I need to get the balloon whisk. So the first thing that goes in is, make sure this is on really well, because what I've done is, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this, but I put the butter and the marge into a bowl, and then I put that bowl into another bowl with warm water in so that it partially melts it. This is what I think is stopping the cake from curdling. That looks so grim. Everything should be at room temperature when you make a cake. Butter, eggs, everything. And my kitchen wall is on it's on the outside. There's no, it's not attached to anything. So anything that is sitting on that worktop just gets really cold. And I'm pretty sure that the butter is always just too cold to mix properly. So let's give it a blend. Turned it off. Okay, normally I would whisk it really a lot so that the butter and the margarine whisk together and get light. They pretty much change colour. Right, I'm going to take the attachment off and I'm going to put my sifter scale in. So this just goes in like this. It's a bit bigger, so I need to undo it a little. There we go. Screw it into place. Actually, I should have shown you it, shouldn't I? Let me show you it. Hang on. So this section here, it has a sieve in it, and there's a bit here that moves to push things through the sieve, and it's got this chute here. So this goes in, and then I will always position it so it goes into the bowl. The first time I played with it, it went all over the table. So like if I leave it like that, it's not going to work, and also it can move. So I make sure that is going into the bowl. And then this is the scale part. So I'm doing it all cat-handed, but this part sits on here and it fits on with a little click. There we go. So it's facing me. Sorry, you can't see it, but there's a scale there. And then if I want to measure, I can measure here, and then I just take this off and I pop the hopper in here. Now the hopper has got a, can you see that this, I twist this so it's closed, so when I put all the sugar in here, and then when I open it, it will release the sugar out of here into the sieve, and then the sieve will go, the bit inside the sieve goes brushing it against the sieve, pushing it down into the chute. So let's close it off. I've literally chosen the worst day to do this. It is pouring down outside. So I've got quite a lot of sugar. All right, I'm going to do my trick of holding it like this, using my hands like a funnel. I'm sure there's a better way of doing this. So I will turn it on, and when I turn it on, you'll hear the, because as this goes round, it's attaching this, and that's why it all works. So we're going to do it really slow. So I haven't opened it yet. Now I'm going to open it, and the sugar will shoot in. Let's move it so you can see. So you can see, but so it still goes in. So if I open up the chute, so I can open and close it so it goes in and it whisks up slowly. So I'm going to make that go a little bit faster. Give it a little tap. Now, if I was measuring as I go, I would literally just pop the lid back on, and then I would measure into the hopper. Actually, I probably don't need to do that. I can probably do it straight there. Yeah, I can measure straight into here. Yeah, let's pop this on and see if it measures how heavy it is. Let's measure this bowl. Yeah, so I can measure straight into the hopper. Nothing goes in, and then it will all pour through. That's very clever. I didn't twig for that. I was using this every time before. this is, every time I use it, I learn something new and it just gets better and better. I pre-weighed everything because I was recording and I didn't want to be messing around, but this is looking good. It's looking very grey in here. It's very wet out there. Okay, but I don't need that for the minute. So what am I doing next? Eggs. So I'm going to remove it. This is the thing I didn't realise earlier, was that I felt like it was a big annoying in the way thing, but actually it takes just a second to remove it and then I can whisk it up. Now, my bowl, they've redesigned the bowl since I got this one. My bowl, oh, I'm letting it all fly all over the place. Let's get a cloth. My bowl has kind of a little belly button, let's call it a belly button, and things get stuck in the bottom of it, and also the bits on the sides tend to not get pushed in until there's a lot in there. Right now there's not a huge amount in there, so I'm going to put a load in there. Now that needs to have a really good whisk, and then I'm going to add the eggs. Now I've put the vanilla in the eggs as well just for ease. I'm going to whisk this up really fast, and then I'm going to very slowly add the eggs, and I'm going to add probably just one big, I'm using a serving spoon, one big serving spoon of flour, which also helps stop it curdle. So, excuse the noise. Woof. That was not what I meant to do, because I'm doing it the wrong way round. Like that. Why did you slow down? There we go. If I do this around here so you can see. Whew. Okay, that is starting to look very creamy, very loose, which is perfect. Now, it's not getting the very top bits, so I'm going to scrape them down the edges. You can actually see the difference in colour. Can you see how it's lighter there than it is there? That's because that bit that I've just scraped down is not blended in and the air isn't in it, and that's why it's darker. And we don't want it darker, but that is actually working well. So I don't ever put in one big scoop of flour. I just put a little bit in, and I try and get it in where the whisk is, and I try and get the egg in where the whisk is, but I'm always frightened of things flying in and then flying out and killing me, essentially. Right, let's get the rest of this egg in. It's curdled. I thought I'd nailed it then. Never mind. It doesn't make a huge difference to the cake, to be honest with you. It'll still taste great and it will still rise beautifully, but it's just starting to split ever so slightly. That's very annoying. Anyway, oh my goodness, that's so light. It's definitely better to warm the butter, definitely. Okay, so that is such a light mix. My goodness, that is fabulous. Now, the next step is adding the flour and the water in two goes. Now, I have baking powder already in the flour. I had the vanilla already in the egg. Now, last time I made the cake, when I did the 10-inch cake, I whisked the egg up so it was a lot more runny, and this kind of was blobbing out, and you know how eggs just can be a little bit thick. I think that would have helped. So next time I do this cake, I will do that. I will make it much more. I will basically whisk it. I will whisk it a lot more. All right, what am I doing here? Screw my little knob in. Let's get this on nice and tight. Okay, so flour and water. Now there's a lot of flour here. The thing I like about the KitchenAid bowl is that it's big. Like I couldn't have done the 10-inch cake in one go in it. It's not big enough for that. I actually had to buy a massive mixing bowl that's the size of a washing up bowl just for doing this. It used to sit on top of my my kitchen cupboards because I never used it very often. It would always get in the way. But it's not there now. Right, so flour in there, water in here. I'm going to pour a little bit of water in once I've had a little bit of that in. So now, when I make cakes, I have this 20 stirs rule, and it's worked really well, but I can't do that with this. And I think it might be why it's a heavier cake as well. So my 20 stirs is basically, I fold the flour in and I try and do it in 20 stirs. I use a metal spoon and I do it until all the flour is incorporated, which is tricky. I'm not going to do that here because I'm obviously using this, but I have to think, I'm trying to do it in thirds, but I usually just do one twist of the knob and then some water and then a little bit more. There's not a huge amount of water. I mean, it's up to there. So it's that much water. It's 5 tablespoons and about 300 and something grams of flour. So I don't know. Anyway, let's have a little play with my new toy. It's not my new toy at all, is it? Can you hear the sound? It's a bit like when you use a sewing machine. You can hear when the bobbin's broken. It's the same with this. You can hear when it's mixing right. You can hear when the mix is starting to do what it needs to do. This is a lot of flour. Hands free, and it's just taking it in a tablespoon at a time, I should imagine. Perfect, okay. A little bit more water in. Okay, last lot, just. Okay, that's it. Cake is done. I'm going to pop this back on. I don't like this. Imagine if this fell into the cake, that would not be funny. So the thing with cakes is not to bash the side of the tin if you can help it, because that bashes out bubbles, and bubbles are what make your cake rise. But God, that's a lot. That's a lot of licking the spoon afterwards, isn't it? Oh, Emma, you're so messy. Oh, tastes great. Yep. I'm going to eat the rest of that when you're not looking. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we're just going to get those side bits in. Oh, this is so. Oh no, there's flour in there that's not mixed. Let's give it. I haven't let it mix enough. Oh, I'm just going to do this by hand. I'm just supposed to do it with a spatula, but it's the only way I know to not miss any. No, do you know what? I'm going to put the whisk. Oh, I've licked it, haven't I? Oh, I was going to say I'm going to put the whisk back on, but I can't, can I? Right, let's just make sure nothing. Yeah. Oh, do you know what? All the flour's got caught at the bottom. Let's clean the whisk. Hold on. I'm going to clean the whisk and come back, because this needs a really good zhuzh, and I don't think I can do it as well as the whisk. Okay, that was really silly. I shouldn't have licked it till the very end. Okay, right. Let's give it another beating. Uh-oh. I'm going to put it there and eat it afterwards, even though that is torture, not being able to lick your everything. Right. All right, hopefully this is all the way through. I didn't check that. I should have scraped the edges down and then put the whisk on again before taking everything out. Rookie error. This is because I'm on a timeline. There we go. Okay. But even with the flour not incorporated, it is such a light mix. This is going to be beautiful. Yeah, perfect. Done. Right, so let's just wipe up this lot that it's dropping it's dropping everywhere. Okay, cake tins. I'm going to do this by eye. Shall I do it by eye? Shall I? No, I should measure it. Let me get hold on. Right, where's my scales? So, scales, this guy fits on so you can use him when he's not got the hopper on. I should do it this way, shouldn't I? I'm going to turn it around, I'll just show you. So, scales. Oh, I've turned it off. So, digital scales, you can zero it. Obviously, it comes just like that. So, I don't want, this is a loose bottom tin, so I've got a chopping board. And then I'm going to put this on top so it will measure everything. And it won't all fall out the bottom. Right, this is quite a heavy cake. I reckon it's going to be about 500 or 600 grams in each one. So, okay, that's 500-ish. This is how I do it. I'll never do it exact. Zero it out. And 500-ish again, and then we'll see where we go. You know what? On Wednesday, I had two 10-inch cakes baked. There's this much left, so I'm just going to do equals a spoon here, a spoon there, so it's pretty much even. It doesn't need to be exact because I'm going to have to cut the tops off anyway. Yeah, but on Wednesday, I came back from the dog walk at about 7:30 and took the first 10-inch cake out the oven, and then I directly made the next one, and I had them both done by about 11 o'clock. I think this one cake with two tins that should be half the time, it's taken me twice as long. I'm going to blame technical difficulties. Anyway, it is a really nice light looking mixture, so I think it's going to be a delicious cake. I know it's going to be a delicious cake because I've made this a million times. Right, so now they are as good as even. I don't need them to be exact. And then I just smooth them down with the back of the spoon. Because it domes, I tend to push the ingredients to the outside edge. Not massively, just I'd rather there was, can you see that? I'd rather there was a hole in the middle and it was fatter on the outside than I leave the last dollop on the inside, because that will already grow anyway. Oh, this feels like it's shrunk a little bit. Make sure it's pushed to the edges. I want the paper pushed to the edges so that I get two cakes that are the same size, because obviously they're going to be stacked, and if they're not, I'll have to fill in the difference with buttercream, and that is a bit of a ball ache. But these tins are both 8 inches, but they're never all exactly 8 inches. And I've got three 8-inch tins, and 2 of them will fit inside each other, which shouldn't really happen. Right, there we go. That's pretty good. Let's just scrape off the edges into here, into the edges. And they're ready to go in the oven. Actually, they're not ready to go in the oven. What we need is the paper to go on top. I've only got one, I need to make another one. But yeah, so my paper goes on top like this. I'll need to make another one, and then they're going in the oven, and then we can finally bake them. Perfect, right. It's so time for a coffee. I'll show you when they come out. So, final verdict on the sifter and scale by KitchenAid. I've fallen in love with it, and I think I'll be using it a lot more in the future, especially for things like buttercream or royal icing or cakes with a lot of mixture that is dry. It just makes it so seamless to actually bake it. I do recommend it. It's expensive, but I think if you're going to use it a lot, it's definitely worth it.